Watch out for this type of trouble on your Friday morning. Slippery roads got the best of one driver in North Fargo last night. The vehicle crashed onto its side along 40th Avenue. That was just north of Hector International Airport. There's no word yet on the extent of any injuries for the people involved. And things haven't improved much overnight, especially on those tricky side streets. That's where we find the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod. He's been out and about ice skating on those neighborhood sidewalks. How are you doing? You haven't hit the ice yet, have you?
Well, good morning, Lisa, and I haven't hit the ice yet. You know, the first few live shots, I was slipping, and I didn't fall, which is good, and the last one, I didn't fall, but I was having that cough attack because the snow and the chunks in the wind was just hitting me in the throat while I was talking. So this time, I'm hoping for the best, but being here all morning, driving down University Drive, also traveling on 52nd Avenue South, the roadways were pretty messy, but not as bad as this one right here. Bishop Boulevard is where we are by Shanley High School, and you can just see on the ground how slippery this is. So not enough to where I can press my foot in the snow like I was all morning, but enough to where you can easily see like how fast I can slide. I'm not gonna go too far out because I don't wanna, do a split on the snow. I'm not a figure skater, but what I can tell you is to be extra cautious because this is, again, a school. So a lot of kids are either driving to school or they're gonna be walking to school because you can see the neighborhood houses right there. So drivers need to be extra cautious when going past the roadways or going on the roadways because you don't wanna end up going too fast, not being able to slow down far enough because a high schooler might be walking to school and then you accidentally hit that high schooler. At the same time, make sure you're not speeding across the street. One thing I noticed with kids, they love to run across the street because they don't want the car to have to wait too long, but then you can end up falling yourself. So again, just be extra cautious on these roadways. They're pretty slippery.
I was driving very slow on my way to work, and I even slid partially through one intersection. So those side streets are still some trouble spots this morning. Thank you, Brian. Well-traveled roads around town are in pretty good shape, snow-wise. This is what Main Avenue in Fargo looked like right around midnight. Not much for snow for those plow drivers to push off to the side of the roads, but like Brian just said, be careful on the ice. So let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green to see what we can expect for the rest of our Friday. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Well, essentially more of the same, though every little bit helps as we see the conditions improve little by little, but it's going to take some time. So basically all day long, we're looking at some hazardous weather around the valley. And this is a view at the Dakota Magic Casino down along the state line with South Dakota and the Hankinson area. And you can see we're still getting some snow coming down in our view here with the lights. And there's a little shaking going on still. There's still some wind, and that combination can cause some problems in those areas where we have the snow and the wind, again, affecting us in those places. So still dealing with this morning. And so, we want you to be extra careful as we've been telling you here, as you are getting ready to head out for your morning drive. But heading into the afternoon, we improve things a little bit, but we still are stressing caution even into the evening commute. Here's more of the valley here this morning. You can see Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, our view along Highway 2 there showing snow still sweeping through here this morning. In addition to that, in the Donaldson area, northwest Minnesota, some snow streaking by the camera, looking a little better in Binford and eastern North Dakota, and you can see the shiny streets in Fargo. This is looking eastward toward I-94 here, and conditions are going to be either on the wet side if the roads have been treated or on the icy side yet again. And checking out your radar, you could see the snow likely into the southern end of the valley here as you're stepping out the door this morning, especially around the Wheaton area. We've seen some of that snow fill in, and then some pockets of light snow or some flurries. There's even been a little drizzle reported at times, even in Fargo-Moorhead this morning. So this is something we can't rule out here today. And with temperatures below freezing, that may add to the trouble on the roads. But the area where we're getting the heaviest snowfall is down into Minneapolis and Sioux Falls. That's where the focus is shifted for the snow. And we're going to see that continue more and more as we work our way through the day. Here's a look at our temperatures below freezing again. So icy, 29 in Fargo and in Grand Forks. Those winds still going strong, gusting above 40 miles per hour this morning in southeastern North Dakota. Fargo, a gust of 41. 38 in Grand Forks. Lots of weather alerts there. We've got winter weather advisories. We'll step back there in effect for many places in the valley in dark blue. Wind advisory to the west, and that blizzard warning remains in effect for Traverse and into Roberts County down in the Sisseton area. So here's your hourly planner for today. We are just going to expect to have temperatures either hold steady or slide. Eventually the snow ends, The wind will follow, but notice as we head into the 4 o'clock hour, we're still looking at steady winds around 20 miles per hour or more. So this is going to be an issue through the day. You can see on our hour-by-hour planner that snow does wind down as we head in further into the afternoon hours today. So little by little improvements, but again, be careful all day long on those roads.
We're going to hear more today about Minnesota's security concerns at the state capitol. Governor Tim Walz is holding a noon news conference with public safety officials about threats uncovered by the FBI. The Minneapolis field office is warning of those threats to the Capitol on Sunday, ahead of Joe Biden's inauguration next week. Earlier this week, the governor activated the National Guard to help with law enforcement. Meanwhile, 22 members of the North Dakota National Guard are heading to the nation's capital for the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden. A Guard spokesman says the deployment for routine inaugural duty was ordered several months ago and is not a direct response to last week's riots. They'll be in D.C. for about a week. CBS News has confirmed President-elect Joe Biden will no longer take an Amtrak train to Washington, D.C. ahead of the inauguration. That's according to a person familiar with his plans. Separately, the FBI director, Chris Wray, says the agency is tracking an extensive amount of concerning online chatter. That includes calls for armed protests in the days ahead of the inauguration. Take a look at this frightening situation. At least 8 people were hurt overnight when a bus veered off a New York City overpass, and as you can see, was dangling over the road below. Police say the driver was unable to navigate the road and went off it. No other vehicles were involved. Police say it's too soon to speculate on what exactly led up to the crash. An app helped lead to the arrest of the man who police say stole a pickup from an auto accessory shop in Fargo. Employees at Window Tint Pros say it was a little after noon yesterday when they noticed one of the company trucks was missing. They say a man had broke through the back window and had taken off. Then a company tracking app showed the truck was all the way out near Alexandria, Minnesota. Police there found the vehicle, and after a 20-minute high-speed chase, officers arrested the suspect.
I went to the back and it was gone. At that point, I checked the app to see where it was, and it was in Fergus Falls. So on the app, we can see the speed as well. So he was going over 100 miles an hour. They use the spikes multiple times.
Employees say without the app, the truck may have been long gone. A Minnesota police officer who was wounded on the job is pushing for stiffer punishments for people convicted of injuring law enforcement officers. Officer Eric Matson joined lawmakers to present that legislation in St. Paul. It's been a year since he was shot while chasing a suspect through a Waseca neighborhood. Matson's been through multiple surgeries and intense rehab over the past few months. The man who shot him is serving a 35-year prison sentence. New details are emerging about that brutal attack on the Mayville State College campus. We first told you about it earlier this week. 4 men and a juvenile are now charged with conspiracy to commit aggravated assault. The victim told police that he knows the juvenile, but does not know any of the others involved. He says the men tore out chunks of his hair, and security footage shows that he was also punched in the eye, stabbed with a screwdriver, and hit with a bat before being run over by a car. The Traill County Sheriff's Office tells Valley News Live that the victim's injuries are substantial. Just 1 month after the first COVID-19 vaccine in North Dakota was given, there's a new chapter in the fight against the coronavirus. Sanford Health is now administering the COVID vaccine to the public, starting with people 75 and older.
We have the most wonderful scientists in our country. We are America, and everybody helps to take care of each other. And we will get through this. And I am so thankful to have gotten the shot.
Corrine Bakken also tells Valley News Live that she was forced to retire from her position with West Fargo Schools back in October due to the pandemic. But even at the age of 92, she says she probably will go back, but as a substitute after she gets her second dose of the vaccine. FargoCast Public Health is scheduling a COVID rapid testing event. It's going to be held on Sunday at Faith and Journey Lutheran Church from 8 to 3. Tests are self-administered. You can get your results in 15 to 30 minutes by text message. You do need to pre-register. We have a link for you to do that on our website, valleynewslive.com. Okay, let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question: you'll spend on average almost 3 minutes every day looking for one of these. The answer: a parking spot. Remember, you can play along every weekday morning by going to our Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but remember, the Valley Today rolls on. We have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather for you right now on the Fargo CW.